What's up guys, back for another new stuff video. It's going to be mostly movies, and movie related items. So yeah, brace in and making a return of the mighty Camp Crystal Lake duffel bag of death that I will be pulling the movies out of. So let's get started. So I think I'll just get the non movies out of the way, but it's still movie related, like I said. So that'll be quick, and it'll also be pretty fun. This is stuff that I know not all you guys are into, but I'm a collector dork when it comes to, you know, any aspect of things that I like and that I'm passionate about. I'm gonna collect it. So I've been kind of going through a Chucky and Child's Play renaissance, if you will. I was never a massive Chucky fan, but I'm just kind of getting into the character more and more these recent months, really. So I picked up this Chucky pin set. Apparently it's got stuff from Child's Play 2, Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, and Child's Play 3. I couldn't tell you which is which. I mostly bought it for the Chucky pin, but the Tiff pin is pretty cool too, and you know, I don't know if I'd have a use for these two, but whatever. It was pretty cheap. Made by Funko, so you know, the maker of Pops. Speaking of Funko Pops, I also got another one. I know, I swear I don't buy these normally, but every now and then, I mean, they're kind of irresistible. I got this really cool Carrie one. Carrie from the 1976 Brian De Palma film, written by Stephen King, of course. I couldn't turn that down at Walmart. How could you? And the icing on the cake, man, I gotta say, growing up, I had this thing for, yes, I liked the Gremlins movies a lot, but I had this thing for Gizmo, the character Gizmo. I had a Gizmo, like, plushie as a kid, and it was, like, one of my favorite toys of all time. I've literally missed that thing for at least the last 30 years, so I got myself another one. This is made by NECA, you know, the great toy company, one of my favorite toy companies. Yeah. Did I need another Gizmo toy in my life? Yeah, I actually did. So we'll pull him out of the box. He looks great. He's detailed. He looks just like he does in the movie. You know, his feet and hands are super detailed, and he fucking talks, or, you know, Gizmo's version of talking. So he'll do that. Luckily, it's got an on-off switch. I wondered about this. I'd seen it before I got it, and I was like, does that thing just move? Does it react to sound or something? And it kind of actually almost hindered me from buying it. But it's an on-off switch. I rarely turn him on, but it's cool, man. Yeah, I know it's fucking... It might seem a little childish, but I'm super happy to have this. Got a couple t-shirts as well. As I said, I've been getting into the Chucky character lately. I've been checking out some episodes of the Chucky TV show. It's actually pretty good, so I got this Chucky shirt. Yes, it's the Chucky from the show. Still voiced by, you know, the great Brad Dourif. And I actually learned this because there were so many, you know, middle era Chucky movies I hadn't seen, or Child's Play movies I hadn't seen. I assumed Brad Dourif stopped doing the voice of Chucky at some point and they got someone else too. But I learned that Brad Dourif has voiced Chucky. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he has voiced Chucky in every single movie, including the TV show. And I think that means he even voiced him in the remake. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I read online. And that just made my heart kind of happy. You know, like, no one else needs to be Chucky, you know, other than Brad Dourif. It's kind of like nobody needed to play Freddy other than Robert Englund. Just as much, you know, Brad Dourif is Chucky. So I like the shirt a lot. I've already worn it a few times. I think you've seen it on this channel by now, but maybe you haven't. This next shirt, this is the coolest thing I have bought, probably, honestly, in a long time. This Creep Show long sleeve. The Japanese writing and stuff, really, really cool. I love Creep Show. I'm a big fan of the series. The first two movies, I should say. I don't know what's up with the Japanese writing. I don't know if this is like Japanese movie poster from when the movie came out, because it's an American movie, obviously. Either way, it makes it kind of more obscure looking, and I dig it. What does it have here? Oh yeah, more Japanese writing on one sleeve. The other sleeve's got the skulls. Sick shirt. I got this at Spirit Halloween, oddly enough. It's licensed merch. It's, you know, it's got a official Creep Show tag. So it's not just some knockoff generic shirt. Probably, honestly, my favorite shirt that I own, hands down. And you guys probably know by now, I think I have well over 100 t-shirts. So yeah, that's all the movie related stuff. Now we have actual movies, so we'll get started on that. Gonna start off with the Blu-rays. So, digging out of the duffel bag of death, we're gonna start off with from 2015, The Black Coat's Daughter. I'd been wanting to see this for a while. I remember this coming out. This is a A24 film, by the way. I'm a big fan of the A24 studio. I remember this coming out. I had no interest in seeing it for some odd reason. However, when I saw, I've been watching a lot of Red Letter Media lately. If any of you guys like movies, I know there's only a few of you, but if you haven't watched Red Letter Media, the YouTube channel, check it out. It is the best movie channel on YouTube. I promise you that. It's fantastic. This is a great movie. Jay Bauman, by the way, Jay Bauman from Red Letter Media, pretty much sang the praises of this movie, and that right away I was like, all right, I'm getting that fucking movie. I'm not going to stream it. I'm just going to go directly and buy it. So I got this Blu-ray DVD, digital HD combo. What kind of movie is this? This is an excellent filmed movie. The acting is great. The writing is amazing. The cinematography is cool, as you would expect from A24. This is sort of a throwback movie. It kind of has like old like possession type tropes. It's got this little sprinkling of The Exorcist in there. And when I say that, don't get me wrong, this is not like, another one of these many run-of-the-mill possession movies. This is nothing like any of those, and this movie is just, I can't say enough good things. I'd give this, honestly, either an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Fantastic. Black Coat's Daughter. If you haven't seen this one, you should get on it. Next one, you might be surprised by this because this is not a horror movie at all. In fact, it's an anime movie, and I don't watch a ton of anime, but from 2021, this one really came on my radar, and I don't know why. I just felt compelled to buy it for the last year or so. Talking about Pompo the Cinephile. I've seen reviews here on YouTube about it. It's just something about it just grabs me. I'm not a aspiring filmmaker or anything like that, but I can kind of relate to a certain type of passion. So this is about a girl who has zero film directing experience, and she wants to direct a movie. And it's about her and a friend of hers who's just kind of like an assistant. And so I got the Blu-ray DVD combo. I've heard it's pretty damn good, and I'm really stoked to watch it nonetheless. I don't know why I said nonetheless, by the way. But I did, and it's staying. One more Blu-ray. Oh man, this one I had to get. Is it worth it? I don't know yet, but it was pretty cheap. Walmart, I think it was $12.99. Friday the 13th Steelbook. But this is not just the Friday the 13th Steelbook. This is Friday the 13th Uncut Steelbook. Exclusive to Walmart. Walmart's been doing some pretty cool exclusive stuff, I'm not going to lie. So this apparently has some footage, I think footage that's never been seen. I'm not exactly sure. I have a digital download here. I will decide maybe we'll do like a contest or something, and I'll give that away because I'm not going to use it. But it also comes with the Blu-ray and the DVD. What a nice set, right? Now I'll admit, Friday the 13th, this 1980 classic, I would call it. It's not my favorite of the series. It is probably the best movie of the series. Can we agree on that? I don't know. I mean, obviously, I know you don't have the Jason Voorhees that we would know and love and would watch this entire thing for. Obviously, most of you guys have seen it, I'm sure. The antagonist is Jason's mom in this movie. She's avenging Jason's death. He dies as a child. This was supposed to be a one-off movie. There was only supposed to be this was supposed to be it, and it turned out doing pretty well. And well, they made 1,000 sequels, but kind of funny how none of those were really supposed to happen. I like it, but I mean, I'm such a fan of Jason the character that when I watch this movie, I kind of resent it for not having, the hockey mask wearing, or at least the sack, mask wearing Jason that I, have loved for so many years. But it's good for what it is. And like I said, I mean, it's probably the best out of the series as a standalone movie. But I mean, that's hotly debatable, but that's kind of my opinion. It's a cool movie. It obviously has its flaws. And from 2017, we have this Shudder exclusive, Tigers Are Not Afraid. This is a Spanish movie. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I mean, you have the Guillermo del Toro hype line right on the front. Right off the bat, I mean, this reminds me of Devil's Backbone, the Spanish movie that Guillermo del Toro directed. Haven't seen it, but I feel like, and I've even heard this is kind of an homage to that movie, or at least that type of movie. That movie takes place in Spanish War of the early 1900s, something like that. This takes place in modern times with Mexico's drug wars and of course the orphan children. And I mean, just off the cover, I mean, if the movie looks like that, I mean, it looks pretty amazing. I've heard it's really good, so stoked to watch it. From 1980, we have the Jamie Lee Curtis classic Prom Night. I do own this movie, but I have some cheap like bootleg copy. I mean, it works. Looks like shit, but it works. I was happy to get this much nicer looking version, directed by Paul Lynch. Well, here's my history with this movie. Other than owning a shitty bootleg copy for a while, I've never actually seen it. This is known for its iconic cover, which is not this cover. I like this cover a lot. The cover most people know is the one with the mask, the killer, and he's got the knife, and it's fucking badass. I've heard this movie is really not that good. I love Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm more than happy just to watch it, just to see her, but I don't know. I've heard it's a classic according to many people. I've heard it's kind of a slow burn. Some people love it, some people hate it, some people think it's overrated, but I don't know. I'm stoked to watch it either way. Hopefully I'll get around to it soon now that I have 2 copies. Talking about classics that I've never seen that I've been meaning to see for years and years. Fright Night from 1985. Haven't seen it, haven't seen the remake. Yeah, directed by Tom Holland, the guy that, directed the early Child's Play movies. Chris Sarandon. Yeah, I've heard so many good things about this movie. I've always wanted to watch it. I'm not a big fan of horror comedies, but I've heard this one is kind of like, it's one of the kings of horror comedies. And I mean, when horror comedies are done well and done, the way that I like them, I do enjoy them. I mean, you could call the first 2 Evil Dead movies, you can call those horror comedies, and you wouldn't be wrong. And I love those. Those are some of my all-time favorites. So, Fright Night. Hopefully, I'll get around to watching this soon too. Now that I own a copy. And Chucky's back. Don't fuck with the Chuck. Cult of Chucky. I've avoided pretty much all the Chucky movies, Child's Play movies, if you will, minus the first 2. So I'm catching up. I've heard the modern ones are decent. I've heard they're hit and miss. Some are really good. Some are terrible. Cult of Chucky. I've heard this is like the best modern Chucky movie. This came out in 2017. I've heard this one is really fucking brutal, and this is the unrated version too. So. Yeah, I've heard this movie's probably like the most brutal Chucky movie, which, I mean, the early Child's Play movies weren't, I mean, I put them in the slasher categories, but they're not, as extreme as a lot. But yeah, I've heard this one is just over the top gory, so stoked to watch it. Got a couple more, guys. This is an interesting pickup. Growing up as a kid, I was a big G.I. Joe fan. It was a massive part of my childhood. The cartoon, the movie, which is epic and amazing, and the action figures. I had dozens of them, probably even close to 100. For years and years, it was just hands down my favorite toy. G.I. Joe is just fucking untouchable. So I randomly bought this at Walmart the other day, like $5 or something. And, being totally oblivious to everything around me, like I always am, I thought this was the G.I. Joe movie. because I don't own it. I used to have it on VHS. It's a great fucking movie, by the way. So this is not that. This is the Mass Device 5-part miniseries. This is what kicked off the TV show. This was the miniseries that started it all. So that'll be cool to see. I don't honestly know if I've ever seen it. Maybe I did back in the 80s when I was a kid, but I really don't know. But yeah, Shout Factory did this. Did a good job like they do with everything. And the last movie, we have Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie Halloween 2, I should say, as you can see, from 2009. Saw this in the theater, hated it. I've been meaning to rewatch it for a long time. I like Rob Zombie as a director. I think he's got a cool style. Of course, it's hard to argue with. Cool slipcase, by the way. That's the original cover. So I like when they do a slipcase that's different than the cover. I hate when it's just the same fucking thing. Love when they do this. So I did rewatch this, and I gotta say I like it a lot more now. I have like a new appreciation for it. This movie is hands down shockingly brutal. I don't know why I forgot, or how I forgot how fucking brutal this is. And I think it's a good movie. I think this is a good Halloween movie. This is probably Michael Myers at his most sadistic and brutal. He's not just, he's always been sadistic and brutal, but I mean, he doesn't just stop at killing people in this. He just keeps going until his victims are pulverized. He doesn't care who it is. He doesn't care if people are bad or good. He's going to kill them if he has the chance. And yeah, I mean, this movie has some flaws, but I don't know. I mean, and there's nothing super original here either, but it's gritty. In that Rob Zombie style. You can totally tell Rob's a big fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because this looks like Halloween filmed, around the time of, in the 70s, around the time of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It looks like Tobe Hooper. This could be like Tobe Hooper's modern, Halloween movie, which that'd be a trip, right? So I like that grainy, grindhouse 70s style that Rob brings, not with all his movies, but with some. Sure, he's maybe not the best writer, but as a director, I think he's damn cool, and his music sucks. Let's just say that right now. I've hated his music, ever since I was a teenager. I don't know what the fuck I don't know why people like that shit, but I don't know. I think he's got potential to be a great horror director. He has not reached that point. I think if he had a better team, and if you let go of his ego a little bit and let people kind of help him fill in the blanks, where especially in the writing department, I think he could do some great shit. I don't know. What do you guys think? That's it, guys. I'm gonna go feed Louie. He's fucking pissed at me behind his dinner's running a little late. So, as always, thanks for stopping by. We'll talk soon. Cheers.